Good afternoon and welcome to special guests, to graduands, their families and their friends, to Bond University colleagues. Welcome to today's medical graduation. Today we confer degrees on the fourth graduating cohort from our School of Medicine. It is my pleasure to introduce our Chancellor, Dr. Helen Nugent AO.
What a wonderful day. The sun is shining outside. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure to welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, and I pay my respects to their elders, both past and present. Graduates, or should I say doctors, congratulations on obtaining your degree. We are immensely proud of your achievement, and I feel absolutely confident that everyone else in this room today shares that glow of pride in what you have done. It is indeed a milestone day. Today marks the beginning of your career as health professionals. From now on, your patients will be placing their trust in you, in your training and in your ability as a respected member of the profession. And it is a truly noble profession where you offer the community so much. We know that trust will be well placed with you. We know that from the way in which each of Bond's cohort, and as has just been said, you are the fourth cohort of medical graduates has been received. Our graduates continue to excel in the outside world. Let me just give you two examples. 2011 medicine graduate Dr. Sasha Muling has been awarded the Mater Hospital's prestigious Medical Intern of the Year award. Well done, Sasha. Moreover, Sasha's fellow Bond graduate and colleague, Dr. Jessica McDonald, was recognised as one of the 4 nominees from that award. So 2 of the 4 were from Bond. Graduates, you can leave Bond with confidence in your training, confidence in the quality of your degree, and confident in the support of those around you. Congratulations on the attainment of your degree. Well done, and our very, very best wishes for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me great pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker today, Professor Nicholas Saunders, AO, Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Provost at Bond University. It is fitting that Professor Saunders should be giving today's address. He holds a medical degree with first-class honours from the University of Sydney and has been influential in the advancement of medical education throughout his extensive contribution to and participation in many higher education, research and healthcare national committees, councillors and state government bodies. And let me give you some indication of that. He has been chair of the National Health and Medical Research Council, a very seriously significant position. He has served on the Higher Education Council, the Prime Minister's Science, Engineering and Innovation Council, the Australian Research Council, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders Health Council, the Committee of Deans of Australian Medical Schools, of which he was chair from 2000 to 2002, the Board of Universities Australia, the Victoria Premier's Council for Knowledge, Innovation, Science and Engineering, the Postgraduate Medical Council of New South Wales, and the 2011 Ministerial Review of Health and Medical Research in New South Wales. And I actually could have gone on. and I will. He was also a member of the Council of the Australasian College of Physicians and chair of the college's Board of Continuing Education. And he is the recipient of the RACP Medal and the Wonderley Medal of the Thoracic Society of Australia and New Zealand. In 2002, Professor Saunders was awarded the Centenary Medal, and in 2012 he was made an Officer of the Order of Australia in recognition of his distinguished service to medicine and higher education. And we're thrilled that he has joined Bond as our Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Provost. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Nicholas Saunders.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, and most particularly graduands and your families and guests with us today. Thank you, Chancellor, for that very generous introduction. It's a great pleasure to be taking part in this graduation ceremony today, and an honour to have been asked to speak to you on what is this very happy occasion. I've always thought that graduation days are the best days in the life of a university. They provide the opportunity to celebrate the achievements of our students, to acknowledge and thank those who provided support and encouragement along the way, and to reflect a little on what lies ahead. This is no exception in the life of a medical student. We all know that getting into medical school is terrific, but getting out of medical school is even better. So congratulations to you all on your success. Most people leaving medical school have mixed emotions on a day like this. Excitement and pleasure, a feeling of accomplishment and pride in having passed through what is undoubtedly a difficult and very arduous course. Most of you will have had to overcome at least one significant major obstacle while you've been in medical school, be that obstacle academic, professional, or personal, and each of you can take great pride at having successfully negotiated the climb over the mountain and on a job well done. Some of you will be feeling relief at having completed the journey, even pinching yourself to make sure that it's real. Others will have progressed perhaps more smoothly through their studies and will be eagerly looking forward to new challenges ahead. But I suspect that all of you, as you sit here, will be feeling a little apprehensive about the transition from being a student to being a doctor. For you all know that the real action, the real stuff of medicine, actually starts now. Such feelings are perfectly natural. Indeed, I'd be worried if you didn't feel just a little bit apprehensive, and if I might say, so would also the public. All of you will leave medical school with powerful memories of the last 5 years or so. Jumbled in among many happy memories will be memories of embarrassment, of having said or done the wrong thing at the wrong time. I still have mine, all of them too well remembered. Or at not of having known the answer to the questions being asked by your patient or a senior colleague. Not knowing the answer is something that you'll experience many times in the next 40 years of your professional life, since the practice of medicine is often based on uncertainty and ambiguity, and knowledge changes rapidly. I can also guarantee you that there will be times along the way where you will make a mistake or forget to do something, perhaps something routine, but important nonetheless. Not knowing and making mistakes will challenge you, and you'll be put on the spot, sometimes with your heart racing and your cheeks very flushed. When this happens, and surely it will, remember that we all start out inexperienced, and that being human means that we forget things from time to time. Health is a very complex system, and mistakes, unfortunately, do happen. It's important to remember that while you can find out what you don't know, and you can do what you have not yet done, it can be extremely difficult to undo actions that have been taken based on guesswork or misinformation, particularly if this has led to an intervention in your patient. So whenever you're asked that difficult question or find yourself in an awkward spot, whatever you do, don't guess, don't bluff it, be honest, and say with confidence, I don't know, but I do know how to find out. A safe and effective health system requires strong teamwork, clear communication, and practice that is based on evidence. It requires effective systems and protocols and honest self-reflection. The health system of today is much safer than 40 years ago when I was an intern, but it is not perfect and mistakes continue to be made. So if they occur on your watch, be truthful, accept responsibility, and learn from them. And make sure that you also learn from your patients. They'll help you become a better doctor if you let them. All of you will have special memories of people that you've helped care for over the last 5 years, and most of you will be able to recall at least one patient who has deeply influenced the way you thought about things. Take care to learn from each and every patient that you meet. In your practice, always be curious and sceptical, but never cynical. You don't need to be reminded, I know, that next year, as a newly graduated doctor, you face major responsibilities to your patients, their families, and importantly, and all too often forgotten, responsibilities to your colleagues and to yourself. Look out for yourself and look after each other. If you feel that you're getting out of your depth, don't be afraid to put up your hand. If you see others in difficulty, offer to help. And respect and support the other healthcare professionals with whom you will work. Clerks, administrators, porters, nurses, allied health professionals all play an important role in the care of your patients. Work as a team, and not always with you as the leader, because you all have a common goal to do the very best that's possible for your patient. One of the most important distinguishing characteristics of a profession is the commitment of its members to lifelong learning, self-improvement, and the maintenance of the highest possible standards. The trust and authority given to doctors by the community is based on an assumption that our knowledge and skills are up to date. So each of you graduating today has an obligation to do just that, to keep up to date and to apply your knowledge and skills always to the benefit of humankind. Sir Peter Medawar, who many years ago was the Nobel laureate in medicine and physiology, wrote a little book entitled Advice to a Young Scientist. What he said to scientists starting out in their career holds true for doctors too. Medawar said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that if you want to make a difference in the world, choose an area of importance to humankind, seek to work in a team with a successful record of addressing complex issues, don't be afraid to ask hard questions, demand high standards of yourself and others, and importantly, be innovative and have some fun. So as your career develops, make sure that you plan ahead. For sure, grab opportunities as they come along, but in doing so, maintain a clear sense of your direction. Keep in mind the words of Peter Drucker, an academic and management guru who wisely observed that the best way to predict the future is to create it. Having a medical degree is a passport to the world, and you'll find that being a doctor is the very best job in the world. Your profession offers almost infinite variety. The opportunity for scientific inquiry, the challenge of dealing with raw human emotion, the prospect of tedium and crisis, the chance to help the disadvantaged and the dispossessed, and a lifetime of service and commitment. It carries with it great responsibility, but it also brings you great rewards and a privileged position in the community. Each of you has an obligation to use your talents and the knowledge and skills that you've gained at Bond wisely and compassionately. Let me conclude by again offering you my congratulations and wishing you all good luck. And next year, when you see overburdened students in the wards of your hospital or in the clinic, lend them a hand. Just remember that it was you just yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Saunders, for those inspiring words. Professor Saunders has made a real difference in his life. He's made a difference to cohorts of medical students over the years, as well as to many other students, including in his role as Vice-Chancellor at the University of University of Newcastle. The words he has inspired you with will undoubtedly enrich your lives as well. But I sincerely know that you will take on board his messages about not guessing, don't bluff it, being committed to learning and to taking responsibility for your actions, as well as many of the skills you've learnt at Bond, particularly about working in a team and communicating well. They are essential. Can you join me again in thanking Professor Saunders?
Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure today to present to you the graduands from the graduating cohort from the 2012 class. Today we have 70 graduands, of which 69 are in attendance to receive their testamenters. Chancellor, formally, I certify to you and to the University that the following graduands has satisfied the requirements for their degrees of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery.
With the authority of Council, I hereby admit you to the degree for which you have qualified. I also admit to their degrees the candidates listed in the graduation program who are unable to be present today.
Chancellor, the following candidates are presented for the award of the degree of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery.
I now invite the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences and Medicine to join me in congratulating each of his graduates as they are presented.
Anthony Barry Adelman. Camelia Tancha Ales. Ravichandra Balakrishnamurthy. Papesh Krishna Bolu. Gabriel Ender Buckley. Laurie Tse-Chun Chow. Jeremy Edward Mark Cook. Marion Holly Cossins. Anthony David Datt. Kristen Cherie Dean. Charisma Kaur Dhaliwal. Georgina Sarah East. Yusuf Ekbal. Kylie Ferguson. Zana Jane Franks. Go Kwangyang Ivan. Monica Naidu Gunturu. Emma Kate Hogan. Isabel Rose Horgan. Huang Chun-ta. Jesse James Johnson. Mo Kafil. Mayuri Kantaraja. Alka Mansuk Lalji. Christopher Grant Lawson. Karen Lim. Slavoljub Ljubinčić. Alexander James Simpson Lott. Christopher Andrew Manley. Salini Manoharan. Pitch Pise Mao. Bruce Philip Maybloom. Ashley Belinda May. Lauren Jane Melville. Caitlin Yulani Alana Milligan. Georgina Ann Mitchell. Genevieve Claire Malloy. Sophie Elizabeth Newman. Gareth Jian Ying Ng. Don Van No. Rachel Stephanie Nightingale. Georgina Lisa Parker. Christine Evangeline Pereira. Kim Baotran Pham. Adam Karl Filippov. Lucy Kate Pitney. Dorian Neal. Flora Poon. James Hugh Redwood. Bianca Reichler. Danielle Dominic Samra. Vanessa Skayman. Masood Siddiqui. Peter Spiro Simos. Harshir Kaur Singh. Megan Jane Smith. Arun Shankar Sundaralingam. Cheyenne Heather Tai. Stephanie Tan. Nikolai Anton Robert Tum. Ross Matthew Tomlinson. Ashish Vaikal. Tarindu Dinusha Vitanaga. An Nok Vu. Christopher Yuen Hung Woo. Shilpa Yaswanth Kumar. Dennis Milo Yin. Farah Diba Zaman. Chancellor, Dr. Nicholas Mundell, who is the highest achieving graduate in this graduating group of medical students. He is the University Gold Medalist in Medicine and he's also been selected to give the valedictory address on behalf of all those graduating this afternoon.
I thought I might be able to get away with that one. Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Professor Saunders, distinguished guests, our academic staff, our administrative staff for the Health and Medical Sciences faculty, friends and family who have come here today to give their support, and of course the graduating class of 2012. Welcome. So before I begin, I have to admit that when they told me that I had to do a valedictorian speech, I wasn't quite sure what it entailed. So there was a bit of Wikipedia research, a bit of Google research, and I realised I was completely off the mark. So we'll see how this goes. Now, before I begin, I have to confess just a few things. Now, as I said, I wasn't quite sure. I did some Google research, some Wikipedia research, and then I went to some of my colleagues in the graduating class here. Some of the information that they wanted me to share with you was slightly inappropriate, so we'll gloss over it. Most of it was completely inappropriate. So unfortunately for you, Nikolai Tum, I'm not going to be doing the entire speech shirtless on a horse. Not sure why he specified shirtless either. Look, I have to say that being a part of this group, a graduate part of this group, is an honour, and it certainly is a privilege and a humbling experience to be able to talk here to you as the valedictorian. I found that due to the size of the cohort, the very personal experience with staff, with doctors on the ward, it certainly gave me a great sense of camaraderie. It gave me a great sense of community within the health sciences field. I hope that you all felt the same. The camaraderie as well as the surroundings made medical school a lot of fun. Probably too much fun for some of you, Yusuf Ekbal. But look, I just have to say that the last 5 years for me have been very enjoyable years. So I thank all of you for that. I thank the staff for that. And I thank the faculty for that. Similarly, I have to thank all those behind the scenes, my family here today. I have to thank you publicly, because otherwise they'll chew me up in the ear. But no, the support that's needed to get through medical school during the trials, the tribulations, the hard times, the good times, it's very necessary, and it makes it a lot easier if you have a supportive network like I'm sure all the graduates here today have, and I thank you very much for that. All that everyone has achieved in this graduating class is on view here today. We've all shown the ability to put our heads down, to do some work, or to do some sleep, Nikolai Tum. The attributes and the ambition we've all shown during our medical degree will stand us in very good stead for our future, trying to get onto specialist programs, trying to better our patient outcomes, trying to be better doctors, doing research, you name it. We as graduate doctors are now viewed as such in our respective communities. This means there is a lot of responsibility upon each of us to act as appropriate ambassadors for medicine, valuable members for our community, and appropriate ambassadors for Bond. We will be called upon by people in times when they won't let their closest relatives see them. They may deny all course of treatment. They may quite literally be on their last legs. Our duty will be to care for these people. By graduating here today, in front of our peers, our future bosses, our future colleagues, we have proven to ourselves that we have the responsibility to take upon that challenge. So congratulations. Indeed, it is upon the foundations of a man where growth can occur. Medical school was a platform. It's a journey that builds us before we're ready to take the leap off the platform into the big pond called hospital, called the real world. The foundations of hard work, knowledge, ethical principles, communication, empathy, evidence-based medicine, these were taught to us here. These are the foundations that our careers will be built on. The foundations that are laid down now will determine what sort of professional we will become later. Everyone that graduates here, and because it's a small cohort, I have the privilege to know every single graduate here, has the ability and has the potential to build on that further knowledge because of the foundations that were made during your medical school. We will all face struggles, we will face hardships. Most of us will be face to face with death, dismay, and despair. But like any structure, the harsh winds and the storms that attempt to bowl us over, that attempt to knock us down, erode our sense of self, wear us away, and take our self-pride will do no such thing. For the foundations that we have all built are strong, they are resilient, and they are durable during those tough times. If I can surmise more simply, I believe that graduating in this class, that every graduate in this class, has the ability and the potential to be what they choose to be in future careers. Luckily for us, medicine is a very varied field. Everyone in this class has different aspects that make them equally as good a doctor as anyone you're sitting next to at the moment. And you have the potential to do whatever you want to do. For now, we should all enjoy the moment. We should all enjoy with each other. We should enjoy with our family and friends who have all been here to support us. Now, I hope to see you all at the ball tonight. I understand that it's free drinks, so first round's on me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicholas. I really need to tell you a little bit about Nicholas. Before moving into medicine, Nicholas completed 3 semesters of a Bachelor of Medical Science. His grade point average was 3.818 out of 4, and a cumulative percentage average of 88%. 9 of his 11 subjects he received high distinctions for, and we really want to know what happened to those other 2. Nicholas continued to maintain this incredibly high standard in medicine. His cumulative grade point average is 3.545, and its cumulative percentage was 84%. For a course like medicine, these are simply outstanding results. And of course, hear, hear. And of course, as we've just seen, he's the gold medalist. Nicholas will be undertaking his internship in Penrith in Western Sydney. But above all else, I think on behalf of you, I want to thank Nicholas for representing what is undoubtedly an incredibly tight cohort. In my time as Chancellor, I've presided over many a graduation ceremony, but I don't think, even including actually the first cohort of medical students, I've actually seen one that is as happy, medicine is fun, as you guys. And it was captured in the way you supported each other as each of you went across the dais. Nicholas, thank you for your words. There will be times of hardship, but each and every one of you, I'm sure we at Bond feel not only proud of, but know you will realise your potential. That resilience will come through, that sense of camaraderie that you've demonstrated today will most definitely shine through. So can you join me again in thanking Nicholas for capturing the essence and spirit of the class? I now call upon the Vice-Chancellor and President to read the Bond University charge to the graduates.
Alan, you can sit down. We've got the men. Chancellor, before I read the Bond charge, as with all our graduating cohorts from the School of Medicine, there is a special declaration which we ask our medical students to make. And I invite our valedictorian to come and join me up here and his fellow graduates in making that declaration. Will the graduates please stand?
Okay. I swear to fulfil to the best of my ability and judgment this covenant. That's when you all say the same thing. Yep. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk, and gladly share such knowledge as is mine with those who are to follow. I will apply, for the benefit of the sick, all measures that are required, avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is an art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say I know not, nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patients, for their problems are not disclosed to me that the world may know. Most especially must I tread with care in matters of life and death. If it is given me to save a life, all thanks. But it may also be within my power to take a life. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own frailty. Above all, I must not play God. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart or a cancerous growth, but a sick human being whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibility includes these related problems if I am to care adequately for the sick. I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. I will remember that I remain a member of society, which with special obligations to all my fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body as well as the infirm. If I do not, if I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art, respected while I live and remembered with affection thereafter. May I always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling, and may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help.
Thank you, Nick. And if the graduates can please remain standing while I charge you with the Bond charge. I charge you as graduates of Bond University to demonstrate at all times the highest moral and ethical standards, to apply and continue to extend your learning to the benefit of society, to strive through your actions to promote the universal worth of all people, to pursue the highest standards in all of your endeavours, so that in fulfilling your personal goals and human responsibilities, you add to the standing of your university, and particularly for this year's 2012 graduating class, to support and uphold your university and its alumni through engagement with the Bond Alumni Organisation and through your personal commitment. Will the graduates now please be seated? So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to close to the formal close of the events this evening or this afternoon. I'd just like to say a few words on behalf of the university. And first of all, if I can be so bold to speak on behalf of our graduating class of 2012, as the 69 of you and 70 of your cohort, I'm sure, realise, the last 5 years have been years of very personal sacrifice for you individually, but they've also been years of personal sacrifice by your family, by your friends, and the general community which supports you individually and collectively here at Bond University. There's a significant investment which has been made in your lives. That investment has been made by a number of individuals, many of which are in this room here today. And so, graduates, I think it more than appropriate that you acknowledge the support of your friends, family and loved ones. But on behalf of the university, on behalf of all of your teachers, on behalf of all of your support staff that have assisted you over the last 5 years, we wish you the very, very best. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a reasonably hot day. Many of us are dressed up, some more so than others here. We appreciate you've been a very patient audience. Formality is almost over, but I think it's time that we made a bit of noise for the graduating class of 2012.